Roll me just
Hang
a
on, I have to
D20.
pick up my actual dice because my what I usually use is online, and currently my web browser's decided it wants to be a black slate. So give me a few moments to find my actual dice.
Okay, then Charles, you go first for temperature.
All right, that's easy enough.
Just a die
Let's
20.
see here. We got ourselves a 20.
Oh, it's actually warm out.
Hey,
D4. Roll me a D4.
Who, me?
Yeah, Charles. Yeah.
All right, let's see here. D4. A 2.
Okay, so it's 20 degrees Fahrenheit above average for this time of year. So it's probably melting right now. It's like above 0 or above 32. It'd be like in the 40s.
Oh, great.
I would say. Even 50s.
Yeah, great weather.
Bluegrass is 42 in the middle of the winter.
Yeah.
Shoot, by the weekend, we're going to be almost 70.
Yeah,
so,
ditto. We're going to be up in the 70s.
So compared to where you guys have been, there's like almost no snow because it is like, like cobbled streets and stuff like that. And a lot of tall buildings, like I'm talking like 4 stories tall, are not uncommon in Yarder.
They're all tall compared to Garl.
A lot of like it's mild enough that like a lot of the cobblestone streets are for the most part clear as snow. There might be piles of snow here and there where it was cleared earlier and it's yet to totally disappear, but off to the distance, off to the west, because you guys are kind of within the interior of the city, off to the west, you guys can hear like just echoing in the distance, like banging of hammers and the sound of like construction and like that industrial sounds is, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Because it's like a warm day, let's roll to see what kind of perception or not wind, please. Michael, we'll do wind first. Michael, roll wind.
I got a 10.
Oh, calm. And Silence, you're back?
Yep.
Can you roll me a d20 and tell me what the precipitation is like today?
Ooh, it's a 6.
Oh, none. Very mild day. No wind, no precipitation. Very mild day. Very nice. So the streets are very busy. People are doing a lot of things that out because the cold is not keeping them in.
Does Garl see any prospects that may be
everywhere? The type of people around here, there is a lot of merchants. This looks like a merchant town because of where it's located on the river, and there's like 2 rivers that join and the main trade road. Caravans come through here. You guys are clearly not the only adventurers. You guys are the ones only right now still in winter clothing. But you guys are not the only adventurers here either. It looks like a lot of merchants, a lot of caravan guards.
Garl will try to pick out a very fluffy, rotund looking merchant.
You do. You could see a man in gray robes leaning over a wagon talking to a thin man in blue robes. The heavy man in gray robes, although his robes are gray, you can tell simply by the quality that they're expensive, and he's quite rotund. You can see that he even has grease stains on his sleeves and jowls when he talks.
He'll try to Garl will try to pilch his purse bag.
Okay, roll me a sleight of hand.
Alrighty. Oh, I love it. That's a 4 with that 23.
Okay. you can take his pouch.
Right. Since I spent so much money elsewhere, I have to recoup a little bit.
And like, yeah, like that's like I said, it's merchants, caravans, guards, that type of city. And like I said, like a lot of tall buildings. Like it is kind of an unusual thing, but you can see there's a lot of merchant shops. There is hotels. There's bathhouses. There's all sorts of like goods and services for sale. It's very mercantile.
Anything anybody wants.
As well as you can hear like street minstrels, and in the distance you even see like two people going like acrobatic type, like one on stilts and one on like a brightly painted wooden ball doing like walking, like handstand walking and walking on his hands, bouncing on this wooden ball, and they like go down the street like about a block away, like there, and you can hear people singing and different instruments, and it's smell of food. You can smell clearly fish cooking, frying into.
All right. Hey, all right. Let's just go ahead and find this place. It's what's the name of the boat we're after?
The Grand Dame.
And let's just stop a passerby and be like, "Yo, where's the Grand Dame at?"
There's a
Where are your
12-year-old girl.
nuclear weapons?
12-year-old girl, she looks like. Very thin. Very waif-like, but kind of tall. Well, you can tell she's still a kid. Maybe 10. In a yellow dress. Long, blonde, straight hair combed down her back, and she has like a basket, and she's like hawking flowers.
All right. I'll toss her a couple coppers and be like, "Hey,
Okay.
where's the?"
She bends down, picks one up off the ground that she had dropped, and puts them in a pouch, and she hands you a daisy.
No, I was more interested in. I'll take the daisy though. I was more interested in directions. Where's the place?
She says, points to the west, and she says, probably by the docks, or she says the river is that way, so I would assume it would be by the docks or by the barge rights. But she sees, well, come, I'll take you.
Oh, that'd be most helpful.
Would you like to buy a flower? She says to Garl.
You do have a lot of.
And you can see that there's like daisies, there's carnations, there's like,
Garl will say, but I have no money. But you know what? With me, what I can do is I can make you my greenness is handmaiden.
Who's your
I am a king, and she is my queen.
Oh.
And we'll make sure that you're taken care of as long as you take care of us. You know the streets.
Oh, thank goodness you only said handmaiden. I was imagining something worse.
Well, I wasn't going that way. Yeah, even Garl has.
A number of times he picked up women.
Would you like to buy a flower? She says to you, Silence. She looks up at you with her big blue eyes. She's just human. But
why not?
Blonde straight hair,
what you've got.
blue eyes, yellow dress. Well, she holds up her basket. She kind of rests it on her hip, and she has like lots.
I've always had a fancy for daisies. I'll get a couple of those.
Okay. It's kind of a pay what you want system. She looks at you expectantly.
Okay. I'll give her a few coppers then for that.
Okay. You hand them to her, and she looks at them in the palm of her hand. It even flips them over and puts them in her pouch. She says, "Come this way." And you could see that even it's not like a very complicated city to navigate.
Oh, by the way, I want to make sure that I have my hand on my money pouch at all times because I don't trust this lady.
Okay.
Well, that's kind of why Garl was trying to entice her to be part of our troop through the city. She knows the streets.
Well, okay. Because you guys both mentioned that, I'll just remind you guys now. Everyone, take your daily, your inspiration for today, because you guys are on to something. Your insight is telling you guys that, more than well, I don't know. You're just on it, right?
There's something fishy going on here, right?
Your intuition is telling you that, she's not afraid of being on the streets. She's not intimidated by the streets. She
got street smarts.
Yeah, she does have street smarts.
Yeah,
I mean, I would recognize. I grew up on the streets.
Yeah, kind of.
Right.
This is the urchin background right here, right?
Kind of the way that
urchin
coins into her purse, maybe a tell too.
Well, it exactly is. She can tell where you guys have been by the coin you're handing out. Which is kind of not normal for a normal street urchin. The street urchin is more about just the money, not about what it can tell them. She takes you guys a short walk west. The banging and construction gets louder, and you guys could see that there are it does get a little bit more industrial where there is warehouses. Some of the warehouses are open. You could see that there's big warehouses full of timber and stuff. There are people hawking food. There are people hawking wagonfuls of fish and crabs and baskets of eels that are still writhing in their own slime. You could hear eels, eels, eels. You could see down the street, you guys could see the fortified bridge, and it's very high up, enough for river traffic. The bridge is made of stone and ancient, and it is fortified. Basically, you got 3/4 cover on that bridge. And you could see that the keep across the river, and there are even men on horseback and armor, riding in kind of a military formation to and from that keep. As you get closer, you hear the sounds of the construction and the smell of the wood and the sawing and the men on large sawhorses in the warehouses busy with activity. It looks like a lot of them are building boats, small boats, all the way up to river barges. Some wagons, some crate builders, some coopers making barrels, the tang 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 of blacksmiths making hoops, hinges, brackets, nails, that sort of thing, repairing tools. She walks you adjacent to the industrial area to get more of a harbor area.
At least we're going in the right direction.
Yeah.
Keep your eyes peeled, though.
You can see that there are it's during the day. There's a lot of activity. A lot of it looks like fishermen and crabbers and that type of thing. Again, there's just baskets of eels piled up that they're offloading from like a flat bottom skiff, you know, baskets of crabs, fish laid out on straw mats that are like, well, not even freezing today. They're still wriggling and twitching. A person basically doing like like battered deep fried fish right there. Literally just squatting down. They got like kind of a hibachi burning coal. They have a tripod over it full of oil, and they got like a board where they're preparing fish and battering it and deep frying it on skewers, and people are a couple people are waiting and buying their skewers of fish. You can buy, like, there's another one like cooking boiling shrimp and crab, and so there's a lot of seafood to even eat, street food here right in the harbor. No ships, but riverboats, a lot of skiffs, a lot of barges.
A barge with a like a casino on a barge, more or less.
Eventually,
is there can we notice a harbor master? Because we down at the docks already?
Yeah.
All right. Looking for like a harbor master so we can, girls can try to figure out who is a reputable captain and not some fly by the night smuggler.
Hold on a second.
The real world interrupts.
Yes, I love it though. The flavor, it gives the city a sound.
Well, what's her face? She says, well, there is no harbor master per se. She says, but like Lady Nestra, who runs the city, kind of is in charge of all of that stuff. But she's like leader of the city. So, but she says, but it doesn't take long because like Michael, you just said, the Grand Dame is exactly that. It's like a riverboat.
Yeah.
But instead of like an old timey Western casino boat, but instead of a paddle wheel, you can see where there's slots for oars. You can see this thing is parked in a slip. It has a sign painted, the Grand Dame, painted in gold. It looks like it's like a multi story. Like, I don't remember if it's exactly 2 or 3 levels.
Okay.
You could see that there are, like, it's during the day, there are crew in uniforms. Now the uniform it's halfway between like a military uniform and a bellhop.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm picturing something out of that.
Yeah, like not quite full on military. It's not quite that intimidating looking, but yet there is an efficiency. And pacing actually on the dock, who's kind of giving orders. You could see a guy in a similar uniform, but clearly like more officerish, and he's kind of giving orders to right now. It looks like you could see like down at the dock, you can see he's talking to like a merchant with a wagon of supplies, and people begin offloading supplies, and that's what it looks like. It looks like they're restocking and replenishing the boat right now.
Uh-huh.
And she looks up and she says, she points to it and she says, they don't sail until sunset. And then they go upriver till the wee hours. And then they drift back and they make it to the dock by dawn where the passengers unload.
From dusk till dawn, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Garl will be
Pleasant idea.
And she with her long yellow eyelashes and her blue eyes.
Garl will be looking intently on those uniforms to try to remember them.
Mm-hmm.
So in case he has to, in his mind, he's thinking of him using like disguise self. So he'd have a good indication of what a real uniform for that boat would look like. But he's not going to cast disguise self quite yet.
The entertainers on the stilts and on the ball actually come rolling into the harbor with some people kind of watching and stuff. But
Hey, lady.
they actually make their way here. Mm-hmm.
Since they don't sail till 10, we happen to be forlorn adventurers looking for work. Say, we know that a lot of places such as this, and we've heard that this place in particular was really good for finding jobs of no questions asked. And
the best time is summer, but all time is good.
Yeah. But where would those people be when the ship's in dock at the moment? Say they were looking for work to do a job, no questions asked. Where would we go then until it takes off? And I'll flash a silver piece. Do I have a silver piece? Hold on a second. I may not have a silver piece.
Well, we could say you do, because I imagine you would.
I don't have cash. I just don't know if it's
and I'm not sure. Kate, and I'm not sure if I understand. What's your intent? You want to know
silver pieces. What I want to know is where would people hiring for a job with no questions asked, where would they be located if the barge is in dock at the moment? I mean, I've heard that you can get a job.
She says, you trying to get a job on the Dame?
Not like carrying stuff like those people, but like.
What do you mean by those people? Garl,
yeah, I'll over at the people loading and unloading the boat. I'll put my head over, like the head nod over them. Not like that job, but and I'll grab my short sword and be like that kind of job.
Oh, I thought you meant to leave us and become a barman.
Well, actually, that wouldn't be such a bad idea, though.
I mean, you can make some very good recommendations.
Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, after all this is done, that's maybe where you find me, is on this barge tending bar. I think I would be pretty good at that. Yeah,
and she says, not looking like that. You're not.
What do you mean? What, looking like what?
She says, you guys look like you've been tromping around the tundra for 6 months.
Yeah, that's
not wrong there.
You're not wrong. That's why we're looking for a job.
Just 2 months.
And again, you look at.
We've been dealing with giant issues, We've been tackling giants.
Oh.
We happen to have some skill and experience with dealing with their kind. So if anybody's interested or in dealing with giants or looking for somebody who can deal with giants, this troop, that's what we've been doing. I killed Trophy, the frost giant queen. I'll bend down for that in her ear.
Come with me.
All right, hand still on my purse.
She leading Nicodemus off?
Well,
she'll lead all you guys if
but
she just
it's kind of like her and
away from the docks. Yeah.
Best to stay together.
Garl will kind of turn his attention away from the uniforms and such, and he will follow, but he's going to really take extra effort to keep his eyes upon her because something inside him is saying she knows more than just the streets.
I'm assuming she's some sort of Thieves Guild operative. You know, you're just flower girl, just
Yeah,
standing
some sort of
there,
contact.
da, da, da. Yeah,
she's
she's
more
she's
than
a
a, to Garl, she's more than a waif or
yeah.
urchin.
I feel like the urchin background. She's not a full fledged member,
Yeah, and I
but
would know that.
yeah, yeah.
But
You're
She's
gonna
Garl,
have to
so
prove yourself.
but
yeah.
Garl's gonna stay kind of follow in the rear and keep an eye on her and his friends.
Are we paranoid?
Garl is.
All right, fair
I'm a
enough.
street urchin. I always have to be paranoid.
Exactly. You like I'm seeing this as you, except she's human, whereas you were a devil, so that you must have had it even worse.
Yeah.
The acrobats, as they pass nearby, the one doing the on the stilts tosses a coin down to her, just a copper piece it looks like, but she picks it up and she gives them a violet, and the person like reaches down and picks a violet and puts it in their hair.
Yeah,
Group
they're
vows a signal.
yeah. They're in league together somehow, some way.
Is Garl seeing any thing that would kind of settle into him as thieves camp? And with the interaction?
All your flags are going, including that the person on the stilts, and I'm kind of picturing the Uncle Sam, but more D&D.
Yeah.
And it even has like the long droopy mustache, which you can clearly tell is fake. And once you look past the mustache, you can tell that like, oh, it's actually like a woman on the stilts. And so is the one doing the handstand on the ball. She takes you only a couple, not a long walk, but she takes you to, and it is a 4-story building. The main floor looks like businesses, and then upper goes tenements, but she leads you around to an alley, which is surprisingly clean. And there are exterior stairs going down.
Where everybody knows your name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
The Bull and Finch.
Yeah.
By the way, I've had a beer there.
Oh, you did?
I have.
In Baston?
Yeah.
It was expensive.
I don't remember.
I know when last time I was down in Boston and went there, I had a beer and lunch there, and the beer was almost $5 for Sam Adams.
Yeah, that's what I got, Sam Adams. I mean, I don't know how much it costs. I don't remember. But $5 sounds reasonable to what it was. I don't remember.
I was going to say, that sounds pretty typical to me.
Well, I mean, that's a bit expensive for just a beer, but it's not outrageous.
Yeah. Was it a true pint at least? Like a 20 ounce?
No.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, then that, yeah. Ooh.
I just recently found out that a gallon is not a gallon, or there's a different amount whether you're in England.
Yes.
Or
Now welcome to being to Canada, right? Because it's like a gallon. Well, which kind?
Yeah.
The 4.5 liter or the 5 point whatever liter.
What do you mean that the fucking English have a different gallon than we do? They have a different gallon. I don't know what, but it's different. I'm like, what the fuck? And so therefore their half gallons are different, and their pints are different.
Yeah.
So you get more pint in England.
20 fluid ounces in a pint in compared to the 16 fluid ounces. Like, yeah, the British pint is 20.
16 fluid ounces here for a pint?
Yeah, because 2 cups. 20? Yeah, okay. And they got 20. Okay. I don't know why, but a pint is 20. This, I think, because they just like beer, right? It's like,
Yep.
it's a
give me a
They're
cup,
very-
fucking cup, give me a pint. And they're like, that's it? Well, pour a little bit more. That's a pint.
when they order a pint in England, they get a pint, which is an eighth of a gallon-ish, right? And when we order a pint, we get a pint, which is an eighth of a gallon. But their gallon
Different
is
gallons,
bigger
yeah.
than ours.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck?
Yep. Imperial measurement.
And Michael, I'm Canadian, so I know that because
Okay.
we deal with liters, so it's always an issue.
Oh yeah, fuck liters.
Oh yeah, well yeah, it's science, right? Like,
Yeah,
screw
that shit.
Yeah, like it's always an
talking
issue.
to
It's always an
Bulgarians and-
issue. Gallons, always. You always have to double check to know what kind of gallons they're talking about.
Yeah, it's an American gallon. Is it an English gallon? Oh,
Mhm.
I thought a gallon was a gallon is a gallon.
Nope.
That's
Mm-mm.
bullshit. I'm okay if us in England got together and split the difference and, made a gallon as a gallon. Whether that, I suppose that would make ours a little bigger, theirs a little smaller, but, we compromise, split the difference. But as long as we have a gallon as a fucking gallon is a fucking gallon.
Never going to happen.
Never going to happen.
Because the whole reason why a U.S. gallon and an imperial gallon is different is because the colonists, after our separation, didn't want the same.
That was our choice to do that bullshit?
Yep.
Weird. Sure. I mean,
And the
obviously,
French tried to import the meter and the centimeter to America, but it never made it.
or else we would have been metric from the beginning, from the
Yeah.
get-go.
And for metrics, we just from where I'm at, we just look a little to the north for Canada.
Well, and you have military too, which uses metric, doesn't it?
No,
Yeah.
not
No.
They do. What do you mean no?
No, they do not.
Is
Yeah,
every movie lying to
centimeters?
me talking about how many clicks?
I
something
always thought military used
Click-
metric for some
a
reason.
click is a click, but
is a club?
as far as across the board, it's still miles. You have the difference between a land mile and a nautical mile,
Hmm.
Well, yeah.
and yards, feet, minutes, hours, and like that. There are
Well,
certain situations where dealing with like ordnance, where you'll be talking meters for mics, 40 millimeter rounds and 50 millimeter rounds, and that's because back was it late 80s, early 90s that we kind of standardized our ordnance for our NATO partners and ourselves in the military.
Wow.
But when
This
we
measurement
read
debacle
when
has
we
to
read
come to an
math-
end. I mean, it's cost NASA a space probe.
Oh, it costs lots of errors.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, there was one space probe. All the calculations were done
Yeah.
in Europe, so they sent it across.
Yeah.
The difference between feet and meters, and the poor sucker just buried itself into Mars.
Well, I mean, they do it. It happens all the time. Like, I don't know how many things have crashed because, like,
Yeah, I agree. All right, everybody, just drop this crap meter shit and just get on with the real stuff, okay? I'm okay. I hereby
Okay.
support this measurement. I'm glad you all have come to the realization that this is just crap and we need to all go back to feet and meters and miles and shit. Thank you. Thank you.
I was raised on centimeters and meters. I shall keep to it.
I'll measure fuel efficiency and rods to the hogshead.
That sounds fun. To the hog's head. And you have to argue, what is a hog's head? Do you mean a wild boar? Or do you mean domesticated hog? Which breed of
Well,
hog?
look it up, man. There's a measurement because, like, a stone is like what 14 point something pounds, isn't it?
I thought it was just 14 pounds. Is it 14 point something?
I think it's point something because it's
Okay.
not like based on pounds. It just happens to be like 14.
don't forget
Yeah,
don't forget chains for measurement.
Yeah, because like
That's a measurement that was European that has stayed in the U.S.
because my dad fucking made me laugh because
Just
one
says
day I'm
14
like,
pounds.
oh,
For
I thought
dry
it was
product, generally equivalent to 14 pounds.
generally equivalent.
Yeah. That's
yeah.
avoir dubois, which means I'm not sure avoir to have of du pois. I don't know what pois. No, pois. No,
You
pois. P-O-I-S.
oh pois.
avoir du poids. I'm not sure what poids means.
My dad made me laugh one time.
6.35 kilograms, though it varied from 4 to 32 pounds, and they're giving some other crap for various items over time. Avoir du poids.
Yeah, my dad used to make me laugh because
I'm not Googling that.
one time I asked him about like an acre.
Right? Oh, that's because I hate acre.
I'm like, an acre, and he goes, well, an acre, and then he tells me, he's like, it's like one rod by a mile. And I'm like, what? And then
it's like 220 feet by 220 feet, I think.
Yeah, and then I'm like, what? And I'm like, well, how big is a rod, right? And yeah, an acre is based on a rod. That's why it doesn't make any sense.
In my old house here,
yeah,
the deed on it is all the lines are measured in chains.
In chains, yeah.
How long is a chain?
I forget.
I don't know how long a surveyor chain is.
I forget.
Okay, I could Google it. But avoir du poids is a system of weights based on a pound of 16 ounces or 7,000 grains, widely used in English-speaking countries.
So that's what it's called.
That's what avoir du poids is. I think poids is like pea. To have peas, 7,000 grains, 7,000 peas.
Could be.
Yeah. Pound? I don't know. Oh, avoir du poids meaning. Clicking on it. System of weights based on a. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, so they take.
So she leads you down the stairs where everybody knows your name.
Yes. Sorry about
She opens the wooden door, and it opens up, and you guys are in a low-roofed room. That is. Yeah.
I want to check my belt pouch. Is it still there?
It is.
My coin. Okay.
It is. It is. Because you guys are like so paranoid about it. You walk in to the smell of textiles and ink, and you walk in, and it's warm, and you can hear the sound of like a couple women talking softly, and you walk in to a seamstress place, and there are, but not like a retail front, like there's sewing, there's a couple women sewing, there is an older woman talking to another woman, so there's 4 in here. 2 of them are hand stitching right now. It looks like they're doing something, like they have like these gowns laid on a table, and it looks like they're maybe doing some embroidery work or stuff like that. And another woman is talking to another one as they're looking over some fabrics, and they just kind of glance over to you guys as you enter. And there's like a loom in the corner with like a half done like textile some type. There's like baskets of like crocheting yarn and stuff, and couple stools, couple mannequins. And she says, "Hello, Darla. Who are your friends?" And she says, "I met them on like, well, whatever street it was or whatever." She says, and she walks over, and you could see like she has like a seamstress apron on with like pins and stuff like that. She's middle-aged, but still really attractive. Got like auburn hair, blue eyes, human. And she's like, "Hello, come in. She says, "There's room for all of you, I think." As she sees like the 4 of you come in, and your 2 skulking goblins and Warvel all pile in, the 7 of you, 8 with Darla. And she's like, "Oh my." She's like, she kind of looks you guys up and down at what you're wearing. And she says, what seems to be going on here? She asked Darla. Darla says, they want to know about seeking work, but they're interested in the Grand Dame. Oh. She looks at you appraisingly again, raising an eyebrow inquiringly. So, how exactly can I help you?
Well, we are. We may not look like much at the moment, as Darla has pointed out. We've been out on the tundra for quite some time. But during our time, we have had many an encounter with giants at the moment and have found ourselves to be quite successful with them. As such, we happen to have run into a particularly drunk miscreant at one point in time who mentioned that a company associated with the Dame was responsible for some dealings with some storm giants, and that they may need more assistance. And we'd like to meet those people. Perhaps maybe we could get along. You may have heard of me. I slew the frost giant Queen Trufy myself, personally, in the defense of Bryn Shander. So giants are our specialty.
And Garl will pipe up in Thieves' Camp and say, we're here to offer our services. We have lucrative talents.
Darla locked the door. Ladies, put down what you're doing and go make some tea for our guests.
What? How big of a door? If the door is being locked, how secure am I that, say, if Far Eye does absolutely nothing else in an encounter, he can at least blast that door open with a shatter spell? Do I feel?
Oh yeah. It's a door. It's I mean it's a good latch.
It's a fucking
but,
door, right?
Yeah. It's a door. Like it's not. And as I said,
Okay.
you guys are like in a basement, and there's no windows. There's a door. There's a couple other rooms, but very clean in here, very tidy in here. But you can see how it's like largely a workshop for very nice clothes. She goes over and she like moves, like clears a table.
Oh, as I walk over to like set at a table or something,
Mm-hmm.
my cloak will flutter in the non-existent breeze since we're in a basement. and mention that I like her tailoring, I like her style of her clothes, and my cloak will flutter.
Mm-hmm. She says, thank you. And you can tell it's high end. She moves the dresses off of a table, clears the table, gets a couple chairs. They get she says, Lord Nestrel Jurland. I think it's Jurland. Nestrel. Casper Jurland. Lord Casper, let's just call him Lord Casper, owns the Grand Dame.
Good for him.
It's a gambling ship. It's his private casino.
Yeah.
All the staff, from the rowers, the cooks, the musicians, have all been hand selected, are all inspected, and about an hour before dusk, people gather, the staff, the rest of the crew. They're all inspected board ship, including the guests, which are again either repeat customers, or if they're new customers, they're like inspected sometimes questioned. She says, and there's no way you'd get aboard under any circumstance as you are. No arms or armor allowed. And all must be like the highest, like what's it called? Dress code. He wants only the movers and shakers and the wealthy of Yarder aboard his ship to spend their gold. Not just any riffraff. Someone who could possibly be an influencer upon the city. That's what Lord Casper.
Carl and the thieves' camp will ask her, is it just games of chance that he dallies in for his fun and entertainment?
As far as I know.
Okay.
But I think his motives are. I think he'd like to have more influence over Yarder itself. After all, Yarder is part of the Lord's Alliance, so.
In order to meet, to see if we can get hired to help with any giant issues anybody may have, do we actually have to go on this ship? Is that the guy? Is the owner of the ship the actual dude we're talking to? Is he the guy who hires us?
Well, then, no, I think that's just your DM misunderstanding. Because of our like the keep across the river,
yeah,
and the walls, we haven't had problems specifically with the giants. I mean, there's a lot of caravans and a lot of people that come through, but we're able to stay. We're pretty well fortified here. They haven't made a direct impact on us. Like, there hasn't been any attacks. There's been sightings, but
well,
that our guards
I
can't fend
know.
off. Yeah.
I'm not saying that like giants attacking Yarder.
Yeah.
I'm saying that there may be people or players out there who wish things to be done in areas like, mercenary type deals. Because there's a lot of opportunity out there in the world right now, in case you didn't know, lady, for somebody with a strong arm and a sharp mind and a little bit of cunning and intuition to get ahead in this world. Either they be against the giants, for the giants, because there's some shit going on. Maybe somebody has a trade route with a fire giant lord who may want something done to, say, this cloud giants, or a cloud giant may want something done to a storm giant. There even maybe somebody out there with enough gumption and balls to hire people to deal with King Hecaton himself. And we're saying we can do that sort of thing, and you need to get us in touch with them so that they can pay us to do whatever it is, even up to that, because we're that good, lady. I killed Troopy myself.
You already said that.
I told Haley, no, I told Darla that. I didn't tell Seamstress that.
Carl will say, we're good at reappropriating unique resources for special clients and friends.
Who are willing to pay.
Of course.
No questions asked other than, what do you want done?
Well, and again, all the movers and shakers would be on the boat.
All right, so anybody... So we have to get on the boat. You're not the mover and shaker?
You can get us dressed, I'm sure.
No, not a mover and a shaker. Well, not a shaker.
And when she says that, Carl will look up at her and say, I bet you could shake real well. You have a fine figure for doing a bit of that shaking there, my pretty.
in thieves' cant, more more body language than verbal. She pretty much says, I've killed men for less.
And
What?
Garl would respond.
Off by the remarks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Garl would respond with, I've loved women for more.
Don't try this one, girl. I won't save you.
No, that's she's
Could I offer her a daisy?
You can.
A daisy if you do.
Yeah. Where's my huckleberry?
She says, this is a safe house for the Hand of Yarder.
Ooh.
The Hand is
an all-female thieves guild.
Ah. Cool. So,
nice to see sisters doing it for themselves.
Is the Hand on the boat tonight?
I can't tell you that. But
makes sense.
She says, in order to get on, whether as crew or as guest, you'd have to be better condition than this. She says, but good news is there's many bathhouses, barber shops, tailors, and seamstresses throughout the city where you could get yourselves aboard. But as I said, no weapons or armor are allowed either.
Like metal detectors or some shit?
Well, Lord Caspera where is it?
Because truthfully, I was just thinking I'm going to go in exactly as I am and just put up a disguised self to make me look like a nobleman.
He has a wizard, Pao Ming. She comes from the far east. She's Shao. And she's his, well, right-hand man.
So she's probably got some detect magic up so that
she dispenses the cash and winnings, and she is there to inspect, along with the captain of the ship himself, all those who board.
Probably the spellcasters could probably enter and be okay. We've got we can fight without armor or weapons.
You know, we could arm ourselves or put our weapons. Oh fuck! I don't need a weapon. What do I need a weapon for? But
and maybe
I do like my armor class though.
Maybe Garl.
We have a bag of holding.
Okay. Far with her weapons and armor, but she understands when it's cold and lightning from the fucking. She can call down lightning from the fucking sky, so she doesn't need a weapon really.
No, you can sink the boat. But don't forget, this master may have a very talented wizard.
I might. Garl's processing in his head. He thinks he has a course of action.
Well, we're just there to get information, right? So it's
yeah.
Yeah, sure.
You'd think. Oh, does anyone think that the this guild of sister thieves
set
might
up.
have heard anything about a dead giantess?
That's what I want. I just want information on what they did with Hecaton, if they did anything with Hecaton. But it makes sense to me, right?
I'm not talking about on the boat. I mean, right here with the thief guild. Maybe they know something. I mean, they are movers.
You do that? Do you mean you think we should hire the thieves guild to do this for us?
No. I'm saying we should ask them if they know something. Anything really.
And
I mean, surely if you find a dead giantess nearby, that would raise a few eyebrows.
Garl would.
Well, I expect there would be some kind of money changing hands involved here, because they're not gonna give us information for free, right?
Well, we have to see what they
Maybe
know and what they're willing.
their lives. I don't know.
Garl will say, in common, instead of the thieves' cant that he's been talking. We have some delicate matters that I think your skills may be able to assist us if you're willing.
I don't like this. Is it just me, or does anybody else think that we're just going to get on this boat unarmed and unarmored, and then everybody's going to be like, "Hey, look, this is a boat of assassins."
No,
I have a feeling there will be some powerful guards on board.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking we hire the thieves guild. We hire the thieves guild to do it for us.
well, we're looking
Maybe I
for
was being paranoid.
we're
I think
looking
I'm
for
paranoid.
we're looking for information. So, Garl's kind of asking her in a non-confrontational way if she might be receptive and kind of see if what kind of deal that she's possibly willing to accept. Because Garl thinks he can get on the ship at least by himself. Fair enough. It's just that his methods only extend to himself. He can't share them with the unfortunately a group.
So, question: Can I scry on King Hecaton? Like, if
You can
if
try.
he's
You definitely try.
Like, I mean, I don't know. I'm reading the scry spell, and I don't know if it works on someone if they're dead.
Let's hope he's. If they're dead, they're not a creature. So if it says creature, then it wouldn't work.
Okay. Well, do we definitely know he's dead, right? We don't know.
We don't.
He's just disappeared,
No,
right?
you
Fuck
don't
it.
know.
I'm gonna try and
he's alive.
I'm gonna try and scry on King Hecaton.
Right here in the seamstress shop.
I'm glad you
Save it for later, mate. Save it for later.
I'm not gonna do it right here. Like, that's probably not a good idea, but yeah.
Yeah, it'd be a little rude. You're in a sanctuary of a
He says,
Female Thieves Guild.
she says, as the tea is finished, she stands up, puts her tool in. She says, I am not sure how much more I can help you. I've told you how to get onto that boat if you want. And if you want to talk to movers and shakers, that's where they're going to be. And she says,
Well, perhaps you could help me with another dilemma.
with a
I'm
what?
a 32 waist, 32 length, 15 and a half neck.
She says, absolutely. She says,
Well, let's say I'm short on coin.
I
hence
can
my
help you.
desire.
I can help you with clothes for a discount.
Thank you, because I'm a little short on coin due to my time out in the tundra.
That's
She
when
says,
that's when Garl
she says,
a step up and he'll reach for that fat pouch that he picked up.
Mhm.
Is there enough in here to outfit all my friends?
I like the way that's played. Let's say that'll cover the cost.
Okay.
Because
Awesome.
it saves me from having to figure out two things.
Okay.
I don't have to figure out what's in the pouch. I don't have to figure out what she's going to charge you. That would play out good in the book. We were here, by the way. Ching.
Yeah, there we go. I love this line of thought.
She kind of
What-
looks at you guys
what's in
kind
the
of all.
box?
Qua? What?
What? Sorry, what's in the box?
Oh, not a box, a pouch. He picked a pouch off of a merchant earlier. As they were walking
okay.
through. And I said, it saves me from having to figure out two things, right? I don't have to figure out what was in the pouch, and I don't have to figure out what she's going to charge you. So,
All right.
she gives you guys like a quick assessing. She says it might take a couple days to get outfits, but it might take a couple days for you guys to make yourself more presentable. She recommends a couple places. She recommends a couple places for you guys to go, and you can take what you want of her recommendations. And she says, go get rested, get fed, get cleaned up, come back here tomorrow for a quick measurement, and then it might take about another day or so, but we'll do what we can as expeditiously as we can. There's no worry. The boat leaves every night. Every night. Gambling never stops. You guys can do that. Darla will actually stay behind. You guys are given simple enough directions to go to, like I said, bathhouse or whatever you guys want to do. So if there's anything you guys would like to do, or just skip to up in your rooms, you guys can like I said, get a room, get cleaned up. You're gonna scry.
Once we leave the shop, I'm gonna suggest that to the others. Once we get back, I want to scry and see if we can see Hector.
You guys go to a tavern or an inn. You guys get like a hot meal, very delicious eel pie. Some
description of delicious.
Remarkably good ale.
Hey.
It's warm. It's dry. Eventually you guys, like later up in your rooms, Ryan. You're in your room. It's basic but dry, comfortable, and clean. You have a table and a small stool. You have like a clay jug full of water and a wooden cup. And you have surprisingly a feather bed with clean linens on it.
So
there's
I've
a
got a
trunk to put your
question.
junk. Yes.
Does that that conch that we used to get to the storm giant place, does that belong to Hekaton?
I couldn't make that out. What was your question?
He wants to know if the
Does
conch
this-
is like a personal possession of King Hekaton to do the scrying, and I'm trying to decide, and I kind of don't really think it is. It's silences. Technically, she's attuned to it.
Yeah, it's attuned, so
It's basically hers.
Yeah.
Okay. Then it will just be assuming that he doesn't choose to fail the save, it would be a saving throw with a +5 modifier. Wisdom save.
Okay.
Assuming that it even works.
Okay. Describe it as you're doing this. What's the components you needed? You made such a big deal of the components, I don't even know what they are. Just tell me about
pieces.
how
So
you do this.
It's
What it looks like when you're casting in your room. Are your friends around you?
Yeah, sure.
The goblins of Warville get their like a room together.
So I think that for because I assume that it would be something different depending on what cleric was casting this. So I think for Farai, it would be kind of like a kind of two. I don't know if they exist. Kind of two metal rods that she holds and channels her god's power into it, and it's like and then it would and there's like a mirror ball like below the two rods, and as the lightning goes through it, it would kind of light up like it was a television, if you will.
Okay.
If it didn't work, it would just be like grayed out and not, and it would be gray static.
Unfortunately, gray static. Not fights.
What do you think it is? Do you
Call
think
it.
something's blocking you? Do you think it's him? Do you think there's just
Well,
nothing to see?
well, usually that would mean either he's dead or he or he is strong-willed enough that I can
It couldn't
see.
couldn't possibly be
I'm
that
not
some
able
other
to
power
get a
is
read on him.
blocking you? Maybe
But why
some
would
other
he cut
possible.
himself off?
Uh,
If that's what
Could
he's
I
doing.
make? Would I be able to make a religion check to see kind of figure out what of those is the case here, or would it be I just wouldn't know?
I would have to say it would know. You guys pretty much know the options that would cause it to not. You guys have pretty much stated what would cause it to fail. So I'm not going to make you roll for something you guys know. But specifically why?
Could we
No,
now?
you don't.
Could
I just
no,
said
what I mean is-
specifically no. You know the reasons why it could, but specifically why? No.
Okay. I think something's blocking us myself.
Could be.
Because either that or he's dead. And
And-
I'm sure he doesn't want to not be found, although I suppose it's possible. Possible? I doubt it.
Carl will say,
Another option would be if one of us prepares locate object. Because if he's alive, then it would be locate creature. If he's dead, it would be locate object.
Locate object is 1,000 feet. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and Carl will say,
Terrible spell.
I know of magics that block that spell.
Yes.
They are some of my favorites.
I mean, it's worth a locate objects or locate creatures. It's worth a try, right? I mean, we tracked him down to this area, so he may be close by.
There's a possibility. Go ahead. Try to locate the object of.
I'll have to sleep first because I have exhausted my capabilities, and I did not. And my God, and the Stormwater has not granted me those abilities this day.
All right. Yes. Okay, that worked. Carl will. What time? Oh, what time of night is it, Game Master?
I don't know. What time did you cast it, Ryan?
What time did we go see the seamstress person?
Oh, it was like only like middle afternoon, like
Say it's
2,
after
3
Well,
o'clock.
whenever we went
12.
back to our rooms after that, I would have done it there.
Yeah. Well, that's, and then I figured you guys got something to eat and blah blah blah. And you guys are probably in your rooms, probably about 6 or 7, maybe even 8 o'clock, right? Depending how much time you guys spend in the tavern. If you go for a bath before or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So past 7.
Garl would say, "Does anybody want to go on an evening walk with me?"
Sure.
Have fun.
Sure, why not?
Well, you're resting, aren't you?
Yeah. Sure.
No,
I'll
I
rest.
don't want to interrupt your rest because you.
Or Nicodemus could prepare these spells tomorrow. Yeah. I'll rest. Night, guys.
And all
Nighttime, dark out.
All
The
Garl
street still.
will want to do is see about making his way down to the dock to see what time the barge leaves.
Oh, it's gone.
It's already gone, so we know it.
Oh yeah.
He'll,
This time of year, yeah, it leaves at sundown.
okay, and so Garl.
So that was about almost 2 hours ago.
Okay, Garl will look at Nicodemus. Now we know, we got an idea when it leaves and such. So I got some time and like that, and then he'll explain to Nicodemus what he thinks might work for him to get on there, and
What?
and he'll be saying, I can cast disguise self on myself.
I can do that too, but I'm assuming that the wizard will
along with
non-detection.
Non-detection, and I can carry your weapons.
You can carry everybody's in the bag of holding.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I like this. I like this plan.
But I needed to know what time so I can cast the disguise self at the right time for it to give us ample time to get on board. I don't want to cast it right out in front on the line, waiting to crawl up and be inspected.
Perhaps you should even arrive separately from us so that they won't associate you with us. But will you be disguised self as?
A rich, noble dwarf.
There are.
Yeah, Wookiees creature isn't gonna. Wookiees creature isn't gonna work. The spell can locate a creature if running water of at least 10 feet wide blocks a direct path between you and the creature.
Doesn't sound like it.
There are like 32 rowers, like lots of rowers for this thing. There are cooks. There are musicians. There are dealers and courtesans and staff and waiters and waitresses. There are the captain and the sailors, and then there are the guests.
You know, we
But
could always
there
try.
are like, yeah, there's.
We'd always try to go as a musician, as something else.
Fuck it, but before I sleep, I'm gonna cast sending and try send a message to King Hekaton.
No. I mean, yeah, you do, but it doesn't. You don't get
Yeah,
the response.
okay.
No ping. No ping. No ping.
I'm
Not to be
like,
confused
I'm
with Pao
like,
Ming.
yeah. Yeah, so I'm like, hey, where are you? We're looking for you. Can you please answer? And then nothing happens.
And once we saw the ship and whatnot, Garl would explain what he was thinking as we were walking back to our warm, comfy room.
Can I do a little bit of a narrative?
You can do whatever you want. You're the DM.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to say like I don't like what you guys are doing or where you're going with it. I'm just want to tidy it up because I see what we're kind of trying to do. I'm just trying. The chronology is. You guys can rest. You guys can do whatever that night. Cast your spells. The next morning, the next day, you guys are like get a little bit more cleaned up, get a little bit more presentable.
Perhaps me and Garl should hang out overnight to see the ship arrive.
It arrives at dawn. It comes floating downriver from upstream, and you can see the people disembark, and you can see like like it's been a party, right? Like the ladies are like carrying their shoes type thing, and you know what I mean? Like people look drunk, people look happy.
So I'm gonna cast locate. I'm gonna try locate object when I wake up because that was not blocked by water. It's only blocked by lead.
Okay, but it's
apparently.
only 1,000 feet. It's only 1,000 feet.
So no then. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try everything here.
The next day, you guys can spend. You guys can get a little bit more cleaned up. Go back to the seamstress. Get measured up. You can see, shockingly, you guys arrive. She already has outfits roughly done. With her eyes, she was able to measure you guys up enough where she kind of has it just a bit. She takes some measurements with the string and ties knots. A couple of the girls aid her, and she with pins and the aprons. And it doesn't take very long for her to do a quick measurement on all of y'all. She says it should be a day or two, and I'll have you guys all dressed. You guys are free to spend that day doing whatever you got to do to get more equipment, get whatever. Most importantly, do some reconnaissance on what happens. About an hour before dusk is when carriages start showing up and people on foot and the wagons, and you can see it, like before that they've like all throughout the day they've been restocking and preparing and stuff like that. But about an hour before dusk is when the guests and the staff start arriving.
About an hour before dusk is when we should hand over all our arms and armor.
About 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
About 4 o'clock is when people start arriving and start boarding. Everyone boards when sunset, like a little bit after the sunset. The paddles come out, the oars come out, and they row upstream. And you can hear music as they're going. And you can see like the lights on the boat as it goes up the river. Another magnificent thing that you guys see here along the harbor, though, is in the river. On the other side of the river is a massive barge with metal plating and mechanisms on it that look similar to crossbows, but it looks like they're in clusters of up to a dozen. It looks like some sort of war barge across the river. That probably another reason why Yarder isn't too worried. Well, you do know that the leader of Yarder is called the Water Baron.
Okay.
So the river and its freedom of traffic is important to Yarder's success. Anyways, just thought I'd mention it. So sometime during that night, you guys realize, well, you guys haven't even seen like Warvel and the goblins. Like this is like the next day. This is like the next day. Like you guys already spent the day kind of scoping out the stuff and getting measured and doing whatever throughout the day. And by the evening, you guys haven't even seen Warvel or the goblins.
I'll turn to Silence and Far Eye and Nicodemus. Have you seen my subjects?
No.
As I said, they did get a room together to like kind of save money.
Earlier on, I would ask Nicodemus if he thinks it's worth trying again today.
For Hecaton? No.
Yeah.
No, not for Hecaton.
For my subjects, yes.
Yeah. For
sure, why not?
For Mad Eye and the Gobos? Sure.
Yeah, sure, why not, right?
Something evil, man.
Yeah, I'll scry on Warble.
You sure that's not going to make him paranoid?
I just want to know, you're going to scry on him before you're going to go look in his room?
Oh, okay. Let's look in the room
We
first.
could
My
just
bad.
go there.
Yeah, let's try that first. My bad.
Yeah, no, that's all right. I just wanted to make sure because I'm like, really? Like you could just go open his door. It seems like a.
Yeah, he's in his room. Oh, okay.
Are they breathing?
When you open the door, something bumps the door. You look in. There's a big smear of blood all over the floor. Snert is laying there unconscious. That's what the door bumped. And Gobbo and Warville are gone. And it looks like there's a little bit of a disturbance here.
Okay, we need to wake up Snert.
Okay.
And it looks like it happened a while ago. Like the candles are burnt right down. Like
cure wounds on Snert.
Okay.
My subjects.
Snert, he kind of with the start and he's, oh my. And he looks around and he's like, oh my. Oh. He like checks himself over and he's like, what? Rubs his head. What happened?
We were hoping you could help us out on that. Warble and Gobbo are missing. There seems to have been some sort of flight or disturbance.
Last thing I remember was hearing a sound in the night. And I don't know.
Whose blood?
And you could tell, like, it does look like he just got up out of bed and, he's not in, not in armor and stuff. He just literally looks like he was sleeping on the floor or whatever. And he got up and was laying unconscious behind the door.
Okay, I'm
He says, you what?
I'm gonna start doing scrying on Warble.
Okay, you pull out your stuff. You begin setting up, or you even head back to your room to set up.
Yeah, I kind of start showing Snert what to do because I'm training him to be a cleric, right? So I'm kind of showing him how to do things.
Oh, so you're gonna set up right there, and he's okay.
Yeah.
And he says, And he says, he's like, I heard something, and I noticed the window was open when I was struck. And all I remember was 2 figures in the night.
How big were they?
Like you sized. And all I remember is one of them, the figures was missing an arm, and he shows with his hand how like the left arm is missing from the elbow down.
Elbow down. Okay.
Everybody roll me an intelligence. I'll see who thinks of it. You guys will learn it. I just want to know who learns it first. All of you roll me just an intelligence.
14 for Nicodemus. Not
And
bad.
you could add your jack silence, although it's
Okay,
like
hang on.
weird because it's not really 19. It could be Nicodemus who recalls.
I got a 14.
16 for me with -1 intelligence.
Okay.
There you
I've got 22.
Boom.
Silence.
Carl has a 50.
So that's pretty much the order you guys kind of recall. You can see the light bulb goes on over Silence's head. And then Nicodemus is like, what? And he's like, oh, yeah. And then Farai kind of looks up from the scrying and is like, oh, I do remember that. And Garl's like, right with you. When you're up in Bryn Shander, the Droofy time.
What?
When you
I wanted
like,
one
when you
that was going
guys
to come back.
when you guys are up in Bryn Shander,
Yeah.
and when you guys came back from I can't remember what exactly you guys had done. Maybe you guys went to Iron Master and back.
And
when you
that's
guys
yeah.
were in the tavern and you guys were confronted by two people who claimed to be bounty hunters from
shit.
Mirabar. And one of them was missing. There was a man and a woman, and the man was missing his arm from the elbow down.
Motherfucker.
Why did they take Gobbo? Why did they take Gobbo?
It don't matter. They took my subjects.
Oh, him and Gobbo were very close. They often talked. Perhaps Gobbo jumped up to fight for him. Or fight with him.
I continue this writing ritual.
You can see. What are you scrying? Tell me. Don't just say you're doing scrying. What are you scrying? Don't trick me.
So I want to scry on Warville.
Okay.
If I have anything of his that
see him.
would make the scrying easier,
Yeah,
I'll use
you
it.
know him. You see him every day. You know him. You know Warville. You could even find something. You're in his room, after all. There probably is something there.
Okay, good.
You see him. You see him. And Gobbo. Actually, you can see like Warville is like beaten. They both look beaten, but Warville looks still unconscious. He looks like he got a very heavy beating. Gobbo seems to be awake. Both bound. Sitting in a little dark room.
Okay.
Warville is laying unconscious or sleeping on his side with his arms behind his back, and Gobbo has his hands in front of him, and he's chewing on them slowly on his bonds as he's sitting on the floor, chewing at the bonds that bind his wrists.
So it's like a mirror, so everyone else can see this too.
Okay, or you can explain it to us. Close enough.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna move the sensor around because I can do that, And
Okay.
I'm gonna see if I can figure out where they are.
Can it like go through solid things or
Uh,
how far can it move?
How do we find them? That's not very good at helpful finding them.
we can see it.
We're looking
Here's
for a one-armed man.
it
Where is he staying?
as well. So is there saying anything that we can?
Or we could just piggyback off another
Oh
spell.
no, the sensor just moves with the target. So yeah, I can't move it. It will just move with him.
How long does that last for?
I can keep it up for 10 minutes as long as I concentrate.
10 minutes?
So yeah.
Do you hear any background noise that may give us indication, like splashing waves?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. I can hear anything within 10 feet. No. You can see and hear through the sensor as if you were there. So if we can hear anything that might give away what the location is, then
No,
let me
it's
know.
like an earth or stone room. It's not very big. It's only about like 8 feet by 8 feet, maybe, earthen floor.
Damn, they threw him in the dungeon, Garl will say.
Like you mean it might be under-
you don't know like dungeon or a root cellar.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm
yeah,
thinking
like,
dungeon though.
Yeah.
Garl's jump is because of knowing Warvel's background.
Oh.
And those guys they threw him in the dungeon. They already got their money, the no goods.
That was a bit quick. Hey, I have an idea. We can locate them by piggybacking off another spell, locate object, because we know his shirt.
But it's
we
only
know
1,000
his jacket.
feet. I mean, it might work if he's within 1,000 feet. I got a lot more faith that they're within 1,000 feet than Hecaton's corpse is. You know?
Okay.
And
Sorry, guys, I
it's
gotta
worth
go
a
for a
shot.
bio again. I've been drinking coffee, so I'll be right back.
I feel you don't buy coffee.
I'll hear your plan.
So yeah, I'm gonna the room is lined with lead. We should be able to locate an object that is maybe if there's a unique object in the room that we can see, then we can locate that. But whatever you guys think.
I was thinking locate object on his coat.
Yeah.
We've seen it quite a few times.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to be
okay.
wearing it, so basically it's a locate him spell.
Yeah.
Did we have we given Warble, since that's the focus and who we're attached to, have we?
I want to get them both. I want to get both Gobbo and Wervel. There's no one better than the other in my opinion.
No, but I'm just saying, since scrying, he had to pick a target. It was Warble.
Yeah, which I'm fine.
Yeah.
Like one's just as good as the other.
And
Talking about Gobbo, can't we send a message to him? Ask him a few questions?
We could. I would need to drop scrying to do it, I think, but we could.
I mean, Gobbo's awake.
But
he could give us a lot more information.
The problem is I don't speak Goblin. I don't.
Yeah, Gobbo,
I
where
don't
you
think
at?
Sin.
Didn't we give Warvel a sword or armor or something?
Yeah, but you probably won't have it on him in a prison though.
That's why I was going for a piece of clothing. He'll definitely have that on.
He has 2 hand axes. Well, even if we find the 2 hand axes, he's not far behind.
That was my
true. But like, can we locate specific stuff like that? Like, can we only locate hand axe?
Well, I think if it would locate object, the more familiar you are with the object, the better your chances are.
Yeah, and we would be familiar with his equipment.
And that's why I was
Okay, fair enough.
going that route as far as something that we.
Oh, where's a coat? Hey, there's a coat. You're wearing one. You know, that'd be useless.
Okay, yeah. All right. I can drop scrying, so we'll always picture on him, but then I can do locate object.
I mean, we've got all we need from the image, and we both have locate object. So if you run out, I've still got it.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'll drop scrying, and I will cast locate object on one of Warvel's hand axes.
We'll have to wait for the great dungeon master to come back.
The one that he holds in his right hand.
Yes, but for now, we wait.
Yes, but we got a plan.
Yes.
We're working as a team. Whoop, whoop.
And we don't have to give up our armor weapons yet, which is nice.
He's a
I'm just
pepper.
saying.
She's a pepper.
I'll tear this whole fucking town down first.
So we've got.
That's a bit excessive.
So we've got a plan. I'm gonna drop scrying, and I'm gonna cast locate object on one of Warvel's hand axes.
I like his coat better. I thought we were going to try his coat.
Huh? Okay, yeah, I'll do the coat then.
Spell.
I'll do his coat.
Your spell.
1,000 feet. What's the duration?
10 minutes. And I'm willing to walk around a bit. Well, we're still concentrating on it.
Yeah.
To
I'm just thinking. Okay. Garl,
Yes.
roll me a survival with disadvantage.
Okay, we can do that.
Guidance.
Let's see here.
Sure. This sounds like a passive roll rather than an active roll. I wouldn't have given him a guidance just to
Well,
give him.
I'm telling him where to go, right? So
A 15.
I'm guiding him.
Actually, no, I'm thinking he's going to tell you where to go.
A 15.
Okay.
A 15 with disadvantage.
With disadvantage?
Yeah. I get
You
a
can see.
plus 10 for survival.
You can see where someone entered and exited from the window.
Okay.
You can pick up kind of the trail and the direction, kind of like I said, like it is a city and it is cobblestone, and
Yeah.
but that's why I gave you disadvantage. But 15 is pretty damn good. Ryan.
Yep.
I want you to roll me a
Religion?
wisdom ability check.
Okay.
No proficiency bonus, just a wisdom ability check.
Okay. Uh, 21.
you're with Garl's direction. With the fact that it's 1,000-foot radius, the fact that you have almost 10 minutes, the fact that whoever did take Warvel and Gobble probably didn't take them very far down the streets, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Right?
Possible.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Took them somewhere. You're not like right next to it adjacent, but you could see like yards down where it's pinging from. There appears to be a building, like a tenement, like a part of town that appears to have suffered a fire quite some time ago.
Well,
Is
they're
where
not
it's
very
pinging
subtle.
from. Why?
Hiding in a burnt out building, not the most subtle idea.
I mean, people don't go there. You know, it's generally.
Suppose if you're missing an arm,
it's
subtlety goes out the window as well.
Yeah.
Well, let's find out if there's somebody around before so we can sneak in and save my subject.
Yep,
So-
there may be a guard.
So he can protect my priest.
Okay, we can do this. That's it.
I have to make sure no one's on watch.
Garl, well, is this an alley or is it just a street? Is there traffic, pedestrian traffic going up and down?
a side street. There's, uh kind of traffic everywhere, but it's not like super heavy traffic. No.
Okay.
But it's like a side street. There is like an alley, but you can see that it's more than one building is like burned. It looks like, a fire caught and it kind of spread to buildings. So this building isn't totally collapsed in on itself. You can see that the upper floors are.
Garl say, you guys wait here. Let me go and see and scout it out to see if we got folks around. I can be, nobody pays attention to us short folk.
You were saying something?
See? I told you.
Yes, Garl, go ahead and scout it out. We're not stopping you. Do what you do best.
And Garl will try to nonchalantly walk down the street like one of the regular pedestrians, and he'll just be looking for something that would stand out, a piece of clothing, some telltale maybe drips of blood, a strange footprint that would match what he saw up in the room.
Not really, but you see the same kind of, when you go around the back, you can see a similar kind of basement entrance to where everybody knows your name.
Oh, okay. Garl put his ear up close to the stairwell going down, or the stairs going down.
Yeah.
To see if he hears voices and if he can tell how many, if any.
Where do the stairs go? They go up. Sorry.
Down.
These
Again,
go
they're
down.
like everybody knows your name. Kind of same
Oh.
thing in the back alley. Like it looks like, like cellar doors or something, like whether it be like, to take coal down or other goods or whatever. But then you can see like this was at least more a 2-story building or more, but you can see that the top stories are collapsed. The building looks dangerous, but and you can smell like that putrid smell of like old smoke, when it's gotten wet, and the place needs to be tore down, but hasn't been gotten to yet. Garl, roll me a perception then for listening, but roll with disadvantage because the door is closed and whatnot.
Okay. A 19.
You don't hear the words, but you do hear something. You think you hear like a voice.
Okay. Garl will.
You weren't sure at first because like the street noise and stuff, but that's why disadvantage. Yeah, you did think you heard something.
Garl will head on back, and he'll tell his friends, I heard a couple voices down there. So they got some guards, or it's those two that took my subject, and you're a protector, priest. So we can maybe sneak on up, but be ready when we go down there.
Do you think that they will know how many people they will have seen? How many people are down there? Do you think sending them a message and asking them would be a good idea?
I don't know. I know I heard at least 2.
Okay, if we want to do it, then let's do it. Let's just go.
Let's just walk fucking in there and like put my sword to their throat and say, "Tell us where Gobble and Warble is, or I'll slit your throat." How's that sound?
Okay, let's do it.
All right. Yeah,
I drop my axe rather.
First,
I'm thinking we can kind of freak them out before then. I mean, if some of my spells work on people without being able to see them, we might get them a little scared and shook up first. Just to teach them something.
I'm okay with that too. I like that too.
Maybe you can play a death dirge that reach down in their soul and shake them loose from their mortal coil. You're so talented there, Silence. I have faith in you, Garl will say. Besides, my bride would not be anything but spectacular.
Sorry, did you just say bride?
Yes.
No.
I did a beer bond with Warble and told him that we would help him and not turn him in. And this is I beer bonded with him. All right. I can't do this.
It must be fulfilled.
Yeah.
All right, I'm ready. Let's do it.
What's kind of the marching order? Like, kind of who's gonna go down these stairs and through that door first?
Yo, I'll do it.
I cast Death Ward on Nicodemus and myself.
Bink.
Hang on. I'm looking through my spells. Let's see if I could pick out a particularly good one.
I'll
I
stop.
wonder if I should throw hypnotic pattern down there first, or perhaps pull out my instrument.
And because like it's like in the back of a building, right? You guys aren't like too conspicuous. You're kind of like in an alley, right? Like, and weird stuff happens here. There's often adventures and armed people, anyways, but no one's really like.
I'll wait right at the door, ready to just bust it open, for you to go through your mental spell list and be like, "Am I going to do anything before I enter or not?" Just looking back at you, waiting, shield attached, ready to just boom. Should I kick it open or should I bust it open?
The door is closed tight, Michael. So let's assume you're gonna have to make a strength athletics check to open it.
Okay. I think I'm proficient in athletics. I think. Or
hang on a minute.
Yeah, +4 athletics. Yeah, baby.
I think Shatter might be a good thing here.
Spell, yeah.
If we can also hit if we can also hit the door that get them out at the same time as damaging the enemy.
I was thinking of throwing down a synaptic static.
You can do that when we have a target.
Yeah.
That's a big area. Synaptic static is the same area as fireball, right? So it's 20 feet by 20 feet, 20 feet radius. So it's a huge area.
It's an intelligence. It's an intelligence fireball. It's a psychic intelligent fireball.
I mean, it still get damaged even for that.
Ouch. That would be wow.
Yeah.
Cool spell.
It's level 5.
That's a 22 to bust down the door. What do I see?
Boom!
Or should I kick it? That's the only question right now. I think I want to kick it. I think for
Up
some
to you,
reason
man.
that seems more. And I'm just standing there, you know, my leg up, and whoever's standing there, fucking shield up.
I think
The
you
door-
received the
Blowing in the breeze.
The door cracks
of my
and
sword for a second, and it's like a thunder.
okay. The boom of the thunder, the splintering of the wood, the screaming protest of the old hinges as this door goes swinging wide, and you can feel the jump skid creak of, like, it feels like there's a chair or a table set against the door on the inside as well. Jumps and moves, and the door swings open, and you see, startled in this water damaged basement, you could see where things like barrels and crates had just been quickly set up as like a quick makeshift table where there's like some scraps of food, some beer jugs, some an area where some crates are put together to make and some planks to make a couple cots with bedrolls out, and you could see those two
The one-armed guy?
not even bedrolls out. Yeah, the one-armed guy and the blonde girl, and they look totally startled when you come in. Like, totally.
Where's Werble and Gobbo? Speak quickly. Your life depends on it.
And they're like, you can see like they're like thinking twice about reaching their weapons, but they're clearly like
Oh, we can roll initiative if you want. We can do that.
outnumbered, right? Like we're the woman speaks. She says, "We're gonna take him for the reward."
You've had a change of heart. You're going to release him into our custody and consider it a well-paid tribute that I don't have to kill you.
You don't know who you're messing with. She squints her eyes Clint Eastwood like at you.
You don't know who you're messing with.
We don't know? Okay, tell us, who are you?
Are you casting polymorph, Nicodemus?
I really do kind of want to. I really, really do. Just turn into the giant ape type thing, just like 20 feet tall. How tall is the ceiling here?
Not tall enough, I guess.
Not particularly tall.
All
Probably
right,
8-9 feet. Yeah, probably more like 8 feet. It wouldn't be a super high. It's just again in the cellar, kind of, right?
Yeah.
You could turn to a goat.
An ogre.
She says to the one-armed guy, "Go open the door." And he goes over to like where literally there's like, it looks like it was probably like they stored potatoes in it. There's a bar across the outside of it, and he opens it up and opens the door again. The door scrapes on the dirt ground, but he's like, he says to whoever's in the room, "You're lucky your friends come to rescue you." And literally Gobble comes crawling out on his hands and knees, and Warvel eventually stumbles out on his own. like he's not fast about it, but he glares at the one-armed fellow as they as he walks past, and Gobbo, you could see Warvel is wearing manacles. Gobbo chewed through his ropes, but Warvel has manacles. And she says, undo his manacles. And the guy comes over with the one arm and a key. He just undoes, just player's handbook manacles.
Eh.
Warvel rubs his wrists, walks over to you guys, and she says, as her nostrils flare,
I appreciate. This has been a pleasure doing business with you. I was just
She
curious.
Does
she
Warhol
just scowls.
As a professional
does
courtesan,
Warhol look like does Warhol look heavily damaged, like a lot of HP lost?
Probably more like a level of exhaustion type deal.
Does he have all
Okay.
his equipment? Gobbo and
No, he was pretty much there sleeping, right? A lot like his equipment was mostly just in the trunk in the room. It looks like him and Gobble put up a fight, so they just grabbed them both, and well, you can talk to Gorvel and ask more when. But
as a matter of professional courtesy, since you seem to be a bit of a mercenary, I'll let you know that you can often find good mercenary work at the Dame, down at the docks. Dusk till dawn slips away. Gotta look good though.
And by the way, who do you think you are?
like we said, we're bounty hunters from Mirabar.
I suggest being a little bit more subtle about where you hide your goods.
You could roll an insight silence, wisdom insight, or wisdom jack if you don't have insight.
Okay. I don't think I have insight. My wisdom's only a +1.
better than nothing.
Better than a kick in the
No,
pants.
just got an 8.
I couldn't get an 8 if I rolled a 1.
Well, ask a question that deserves an insight. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, didn't
Don't
manage the
forget
inside.
to add your jackal face to that, Catherine.
I only rolled an 8. I didn't do good on the inside.
Okay.
Hello? Has anyone else gone silent?
No.
She says to Warvel, she says, they'll turn you in eventually.
When she
Warvel kind of looks back and forth,
when she says
still
that,
rubbing his wrists.
when she says that, then that would be the last straw for Garl, for her fronting him and his subject and a friend and such, and he will go ahead and cast blindness
Oh shit.
on her.
Okay.
Is it bad that I just want her to fail?
I don't
Did she
know.
just succeed?
No. I'm just saying. I haven't rolled yet. I'm just saying. Like,
Oh,
I just,
okay. It's
I think it's just me being blind.
it's a Constitution
fucking-
saving throw.
Con.
Yeah,
Okay.
DC 13.
Rolled a 12.
Oh, she's blinded for a minute.
She all of a sudden just kind of lurches back into like stumbles back against like the man's 1.5 arms. He kind of catches her and she's like, "My eyes! What did you do with my eyes?" And Warble just, "Let's get the hell out of here."
And,
I got you, Warble.
He just goes past through the door. Him and Gobble.
Garl said to say to him, "You mess with any of my subjects or my friends, I'll make it permanent."
He'll cut him out with a spoon.
Hey, starting on the way back.
Yeah, could he
Gobble
tell us what
says,
happened on the way back? Just as we're
Or
walking.
I was gonna say, yeah. Starting on the way back, Warvel will say, "They're not from Mirabar." He says, "They're not bounty hunters. They're the Black Network.
Oh.
Zentarum."
Damn, I should have
Okay,
killed.
all right. We didn't we meet some Zentarum back in Naystone?
Yeah, we did. I recall somebody was really chummy with him.
He
I
says,
didn't know there was Zentarum at the time.
Yeah, you did. They
He
introduced
says-
themselves as Zentarum.
"They came and grabbed us, and they acted like they were doing us a favor. They didn't want to turn me in. They wanted my whereabouts to get me to join the Black Network."
And what is the
What?
Black Network?
The Zentarum.
Zentarum.
Oh boy.
They're a bunch
People
of
gangster types.
They're a bunch of backstabbing mercenary mob types. They themselves would tell you they're just merchants that have their own guards and caravans. But what they're trying to do is,
I heard their leader never dies.
I don't know. But once I explained to them where to go with their arrangement, well, I guess they were going to turn me in for the reward, since I wouldn't join them. But they were just trying to figure out whether to take me there alive or dead and how to get me out of the city. I was hoping y'all would come.
Yeah, well, we said we wouldn't turn you in.
We beer bonded. That means something.
Aye.
They had my subject, and I do loosely. call
I'm not. I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna.
Gobble gives the Boy Scout salute.
Nice.
He does it pretty casually, but he still does it. He doesn't like snap to attention. He just touches his forehead, kind of. And you don't see those rascals reappear, at least for the short time.
Aha.
Gar, you scared me away.
But that is their story. They are Zentarm. They are Black Network. Warvel and Gobbo heard them. Well, like I said, they're like, hey, instead of going to jail, instead of hanging out with these losers, join the Black Network.
Do they know who we are? Do they know who these losers are? Or are they just...
They met you guys in Bryn Shander, right?
Yeah.
These guys just happened to
be here.
They know we're not losers now.
But they're Black Network.
And
he says, like, they're not the only ones, he says. Like, that's Yarder's. He says, apparently there's a lot of Black Network, Lord's Alliance, and there's apparently, well, in Harper's, because you guys use the circle, right? Like,
yeah,
there are factions here. It is like he says, like, this town is part of Lord's Alliance, so, and it's a trade hub, so you know the Black Network wants their fucking claws on it.
You think they could be connected to King Extar's disappearance?
I don't think so. He says no mention of it. They weren't interested in the Giants or anything. He says they literally were concerned about what to do with me now that I wouldn't go with them, wouldn't side with them.
He's an asset, either a badass who can join our side or a badass who can get 5K for turning them into the cops. And a little prestige at that, you know? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Side quest.
And do you know what? Yeah, like, yeah. Well,
I think they probably run things around here.
Oh. After, like let's put it this way, like, pretty much like that night they can rest up. So it'll be like the second or third day. Again, the boat does the same cycle. You guys, unless there's anything else you guys want to do, I'll say, like, in a total of like 4 days, you guys are ready to try to get aboard the boat.
Sounds fair.
And I think I kind of want to know what you guys plan on doing. Do you guys you guys are all going to be just fancy guests and have Garl sneak in the bag of holding?
Yeah.
I want Gobbo and Snurk to be our servants, our little, like, valet servants.
Okay. So was another question. If you guys wanted to bring all the NPCs as well, was another question. Because I kind of want to know what the plan is. And let's put it this way. Because it's almost time to end it anyways.
Yeah.
So basically, I want to talk plans. So when we continue next week, you guys are standing on the dock when people are boarding. But I want to know how you guys want to do it. Are you guys going to pretend that you guys are rowers? You guys going to pretend that you guys going to, like, knock out the rowers and take their spot? Or are you guys going to, like, fucking throw one of the musicians in the water and then Silence takes the spot? Or, you know, like, I really want to.
I was thinking of coming on as a musician. I mean, that's the best place for me to hide.
Uh-huh.
And I've got my new cool instrument, so I'm more likely to be employed.
There are
gives us another angle of perspective.
You guys know from all your reconnaissance from the days here, there are 3 musicians.
Maybe one of them can call in sick.
Like, if you want to do it as simple as like, here's like fucking 5 gold, take the night off, honey. Or 10 gold,
Yeah.
take
Yeah.
the night off, honey. Pretend you're sick. I'll go fill it, right? I just want to know what you're gonna do and how you guys are gonna
That's
do
probably
it.
the
That's
most
kind of it.
efficient way.
Yes.
You can do that. I'll tell you more about it next week, but that's what you do. You basically track down, with the help of the Hand of Yarder, the ladies. They help you track down musicians. You guys, blah blah blah. So and so just happens to be sick, and you're the stand-in. Nicodemus,
Yes.
what's your plan? What's your plan?
I really do feel like I should just go in noble dress.
Go in
and
as a guest.
Yeah, as a guest, and have
Yeah.
Gobble and Snort as my valets.
I think I'll be with you. I think that's probably the
And
best place for me to
Give
be
my
as well.
breastplate, and their short bows and their short swords to go into the bag of holding.
I encourage you to have a backstory.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? And you don't have to tell me now. I'm just telling you to
Have a backstory.
right
Think
because
about it.
because movers and shakers, if they don't know you, they kind of want to know, well, who are you? Right?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I still want
like,
to let it be known
basically.
that I can get stuff done. I really think I think I'm gonna go with I'm Nicodemus, priest of Bacchus, and however, in order to get some good beer, I realize I need some coin, and to get a good party. Some of the best parties I had were in Bryn Shander after I
Oh,
slew
so,
Suki.
so you're gonna hide in plain sight. You're gonna go
Yeah.
aboard as yourself.
Yeah, I'm just
you
going
could
to
say
spin.
you're a
I'm an
connoisseur
up
of
and coming
alcohol.
mover and shaker. I'm an up and coming mover and shaker. You're
I'm
gonna
up-and-coming.
go in as an up and comer.
And also, like I said, I've had experience with giants, and I've had a lot of experience with giants, and I'm willing to do more. I'm just needing a little bit more wealth and influence to open that vineyard I've always wanted. So I'm up for almost anything, to do anything, no questions asked.
Put yourself out as a alcohol connoisseur.
Yeah.
And Farai, how will you be trying to get aboard? Simply, I mean, you can do it just as a guest, but you're just gonna need some sort of backstory as to who you are.
Maybe I'll just be there as a guest and just be there, like doing like a few of the games, like
You're a woman.
Maybe yeah.
That always helps. Ladies.
So you're a gambler then?
Yeah. I go in there. Maybe I'll pick up something from the conversations on the tables.
Garl?
You're going in as an experienced gambler looking for higher stakes.
Sure. I don't think. I think probably my charisma would be mostly what I'd be using. I probably bluff my way through because I don't have great intelligence. So.
Yeah.
And
you can see from
Go
your
on.
days of reconnaissance, like it's literal. Like you can see where like nobles argue because again, it's like a very trendy thing in Waterdeep is to carry like a very ornamental long knife on your belt. And you can see that there's one guy who gets turned away at the dock. He's just fucking furious. Him and the woman, they end up going back into the carriage because he's not going to let just his fucking piece of shit ornamental dagger behind. Like they just won't. No, they just turn if you're armed or armored, they just won't even let you aboard. You don't ever see them call the guards, but you do hear them threaten that they're just going to call the guards, right? Like that's just the rule. No arms, no armor. You don't fucking like it, piss off, right? If you want to make a scene, we're calling the guards. It's as simple as that. You can see that's a hard and fast rule.
Sorry,
So,
I
Garl, how are you thinking of getting on?
I had someone come to the door.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry.
That's all right. That's why I stepped out real quick.
Oh, that's
What Garl will do is he's gonna first cast non-detection on himself.
okay.
About
Okay, so you're gonna go just stealthily in.
no. Oh well. So yes.
No.
He's
Okay.
cast non-detection on himself, thinking that because of what the sisterhood told him, that they check and whatnot to try to counteract any divination magic. And what he'll do after that is about.
You have to remember it is a casino, right? So there's security. So that's
Yep. And
that's all I'm saying. Yeah.
And at around 350, he'll cast disguise self on himself to look like a rich dwarven noble, a count or a viscount, and he'll put in his bag of holding whatever arms and armor that would be needed to put in there for his conspirators.
And you can see, like, throughout your days of reconnaissance, right? You can see, as the people gather, they board about how even the captain and his wizard Pao Ming, the Shao lady, she's how do I say it? Plainly attractive.
Okay.
For lack of not doing like if she got gussied up, she'd probably be gorgeous.
Yeah.
But she has a very simple haircut, has very simple, not ornamented. The only thing about her is that she wears like a nice silk kimono with serpents on it.
Very wholesome looking.
Yeah, and Asian, and she has a sack, very similar. You can tell it's a bag of holding, and throughout the time you can see that's where like the people cash in the gold with her on, and for the chips, and and the captain of the ship too also is like at the gangplank, like helping people on, like very like captain of ship, like, right?
Yep.
But you could tell he's also part of the screening process as well.
Okay.
So next time, so let's just call it there for today, because I think that's time, right? I think it's
Yeah.
So we'll call it there. Next time we continue, and we still have a few minutes, right, to tie up loose ends, because next time we continue, I would like to continue that we're on the dock. Everyone is assembling. It's like 4 p.m. The carriages are showing up. There's other people in the lineup. You can see that the porters are taking the last of the food supplies. People aren't bringing luggage. It's all just a night trip. It's just a night out, right? It's like going to the casino, but it's a riverboat.
Yep.
People, some people are already sipping from wine glasses on the dock as they wait. Some of the younger people, and some of them are even making out already, and the older people are talking and oh now Dan, chatting amongst one another, and the captain talking to guests and turning and shouting at the orders to the ship, and the last of the provisions brought aboard. You can see where there's like cases of bottles of wine being ported baskets of crab and fish and vegetables all going straight to the kitchen. And Silence will be boarding along. She won't be with the group because she will be boarding with the other staff and entertainment and musicians next time. There. The and to be continued.
All right.
Yay.
And thank you for running the game, Roland.
Oh, that's all right. And I realize I don't do combat. I don't know. I feel bad, but
Why?
Yeah,
but
it's
this
fine.
but I was thinking about it again about this adventure, right? Because you remember like the other giant one, right, against the giants.
Yeah.
It was all like melee combat against giants. I think that they kind of went, well, let's do an homage to that, but
Yeah.
instead of like melee combat,
Yeah,
it's gonna
pretty
be
much
all
all.
this. It's gonna be all this social interaction giant stuff, right? Kind of like how like Horde of the Dragon Queen, like the first encounter is like a fucking blue dragon, right? But they do it as like a social interaction.
Yeah.
They build it as a social
I
interaction.
should
Right?
have. I should have put my charisma up instead of my constitution, shouldn't I?
Oh well, no, because there's still things to be had. It's also the path too you guys take, and plus the way you guys play it too, right?
Yeah.
Like
Like
I just find it very
probably
interesting.
some people would have some people probably would have gone after Warville because that bounty on him was really high.
Well, and like I said, not to spoil kind of secrets, but Warville is hardly a like. I mean, that's all he is. I've tried to figure it out, and literally all I think he's there is for you guys to get some cash.
Yeah, but we made them into something more to us.
Yeah, right. Which to me is awesome. Like, even look how you guys got him. Like, look how you guys just returned him.
Like, I just say there's a thug, right?
Like, yeah, like, but like scry on him, and you know, and then to like to go in and not just kill, but to go in and go, okay, look, give us our buddy. Well, what are they going to do? They're clearly, outnumbered, whatever. And I don't know. I just think that's awesome. I love that. I just love that. I absolutely love that. That's just so cool to me. Like,
guys,
yeah.
I'm sorry, Farah is probably gonna lose all our money now. Next fight.
I'm gonna bounce out.
Yeah, so that'll be it. We'll be boarding the boat and basically gonna try to talk to Lord Casper, whatever his name is. That'll be he's kind of the main guy to be looking out for, plus kind of whatever else you guys wanted to do. But it's I even posted the map, I think, already in the messenger group of the boat.
Ah, good.